feel like if someone decided to step up to one of my kids and address them inappropriately, I could step in and handle the situation. If someone wanted to do that with my wife, I think about that and I feel equipped. I feel like I've equipped myself to be able to handle that stuff. So there's a certain level of confidence that comes with that. I think the other side of it is that the Lord's really taught me that being calm really has authority on people.
Yeah, and I love the way you answered it, because it's like you could still tell there's a little bit of wrestling. And I think that's kind of the point of our time here on this earth, right? Like, am I wrestling with the meaning of being myself? Am I wrestling with God? Am I wrestling? And if we can wrestle, in a healthy way, right, and be open about it, then how amazing. Because like, I'm 40, you're 37, we are becoming. Like, we're just always going to be becoming these men, these perfect men that God designed us to be.
Yeah.
Bryan, I'm going to ask this, and then, okay, what do you think the role of the father is? How would you describe the role of the father?
Oh man. I'd say a loving guide and a fierce protector.
Oof,
that's always
a good word.
That's who I want to be as a dad. I want to be that. Like, I want my children to see the very loving, very soft side of their father. And I want to be able to guide them in sense through life with that type of engagement. Hey, don't do that. I don't want to see you hurt. I love you. Anyone that stands against my children will see a much different side of me, a much more direct side of me. And I want to be equipped for both. And I want to know when to turn either on or off. And I think for fathers, we can get those two backwards sometimes. We can be very fearful, very fear instilling with our children, and somehow have this tender touch towards the world. And I've been there. I'm only saying that because like I've been in a place where I'm like, oh, what came out of me there?
Wow. Yeah.
And so I really try to be intentional. Like within the last year, I've really tried to be like, hey, loving guide to my kids, fierce protector in any situation, no matter what it is. And that doesn't mean anger, by the way. That means being willing to step into a very difficult situation, no matter what it is, and have a sober mind and heart to walk through that.
Bro, the way you answer that is incredible. I mean, dads, how many of us just feel a conviction right now that we can be so soft with those at work, like, oh, Susie, I understand, whatever, and then go home and Bill freaking leaves the light on and we lose our mind.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Totally.
And it's because we've got it backwards. So, Bryan, I mean, if us dads could just make that shift, the world would look different. Two other words you use that I just kind of lit me up was that you want to be a fierce protector, right? My kids see me as like this soft, cuddly, playful. I think playful is such a great word with our kids. But then also like, yo, don't cross us in front of my dad.
That's right.
And then the words you used, because here's what I really want us to lean in, because we could kind of get the bravado of like we all love the scene in Bad Boys 2 where like the boy picks up the daughter, and Martin and Will Smith. Yeah, it's beautiful. But we could act like badasses if that were to arise. But the words you use, that if us dads could key into this, would just level us up as men, as the way we see ourselves, our wife and our kids, is direct. I want to be direct. If something's happening, can I be direct without being mean, without being ego, without being an a-hole? And we want that, but not many of us are doing that. And let me ask you this, and I don't want to say it's because you're 6'6" and your physique, but what has you taking control of your health and fitness shifted your ability to A, be on the playful side, and B, be on the direct side? And if so, how?
Yeah. So, I mean, mentally, it's a huge shift because I feel confident to step into a situation. And I think this is important for men. I feel confident that if a brother of mine went down on a hunting trip or something, I could get him out. I feel like if someone decided to step up to one of my kids and address them inappropriately, I could step in and handle the situation. If someone wanted to do that with my wife, I think about that and I feel equipped. I feel like I've equipped myself to be able to handle that stuff. So there's a certain level of confidence that comes with that. I think the other side of it is that the Lord's really taught me that being calm really has authority on people. Like when I step into a situation and I'm not that raging lunatic that's punching his steering wheel or hopping out of his car, like when I can be calm and someone is maybe losing their cool with me and I can address the situation, like that's what authority is. That's when that's when you can step into that appointment of authority and say, hey, I'm going to be cool in this situation, but this is what's going on. Like, this is how this is going to go. And since I've been practicing that, it really works. It really works when you're willing to just be like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but this is how we're going to walk through this one. So it's practice, man, because I want to lose my stuff too. When someone rises against us or our family, like that instinct, and it's fear, by the way, that fear inside of us that gets kicked off is like, oh, I want to respond with so much aggression, but that's not where it's at.
Man, I gotta tell you, I do a lot of podcasts and I do them with godly men and Christians and people who maybe don't have a faith. And I'm using godly man as a different than Christian. I want guys to start to tune into like your confidence that you have as clearly a godly man. And I've been thinking about this more and more. It's like, I can't talk about fatherhood. I can't talk about family, just principle based. If there's no anchor that we're tying to, which is our faith, like it's all just kind of like fake shenanigans, as trying to be everything to everyone and being nothing to anyone.
Yeah, so good.
And when I hear a man like yourself, not ego, but confident, wrestling, and engaged, to me, I go, this man knows who he is. And that's my big message, is like, I want men to know who they are.